Namaskar friends, this is Tanmaey Saikia and today I am going to discuss about a very important topic. At a topic junto upon everybody of you have asked me to make a video on this one. So today's topic we are going to discuss about the planet Rahu. So Rahu is one of the fearsome planets, এটা ভয় লগা planet যাৰ নাম শুনিলে মানুহে ভয় খায়. So today we will discuss about something about what is the characteristics of Rahu. Is Rahu good, Rahu bad, what Rahu do, and how Rahu impact our life. So you know that Rahu is one of the 9 planets that is considered in Vedic astrology. In Vedic astrology we have Navagraha. So among the Navagraha, Rahu is also considered to be one of the planets. Although it does not have a physical presence, it is considered to be a shadowy planet. এটা ছায়াগ্ৰহ বুলি ধৰা হয় ৰাহুক, কিন্তু নৱগ্ৰহৰ ভিতৰত ৰাহুকো স্থান দিয়া হৈছে. ৰাহু এনেকুৱা এটা প্লেনেট যাক বুজি পোৱাটো বহুত টান. বেলেগ প্লেনেট যেনেকৈ বৃহস্পতি হওক, মংগল হওক, সূৰ্য হওক, চন্দ্ৰ হওক, সকলোৰে নিজৰ নিজৰ কেৰেক্টাৰিষ্টিক্স আছে, সকলোকে নিজৰ নিজৰ ষ্ট্ৰেংথ আছে আৰু তেওঁলোকৰ যিবোৰ কাম কৰাৰ ধৰণ বা যিবোৰ তেওঁলোকৰ প্ৰতিক্ৰিয়া, তেওঁলোকে যি ধৰণে কাম কৰে, দিজ আৰ ৱেল ডিফাইণ্ড. Whereas Rahu and Ketu, these two planets are always very, very mysterious planets. So a lot of researches are going on, and nowadays also the researches are still going on to understand fully the characteristics of Rahu and Ketu. I have also done my research on Rahu and Ketu when I was studying astrology, Vedic astrology in detail, and I can tell you that there is a lot of things still to be discovered about Rahu and Ketu, because Rahu and Ketu is not like the other planets. These are called in Western astrology, these are denoted as, you know, the north side node of moon and the south node of moon, which actually itself is very, very puzzling. So Rahu and Ketu, these two in Vedic astrology, they play a very, very significant role, and many of our life's events are governed by Rahu and Ketu. So in a person's kundali, if I am an astrologer and I especially am telling about myself, whenever I see a person's kundali, I always see first what is the placement of Rahu and Ketu before anything else. Many of the astrologers, they want to see the placement of Jupiter, the moon, sun, and all the other Shubh grahas first. Kintu more khetrot ki I at first want to see what is the placement of Rahu and Ketu, because that is where the main tricks are there. Many of the life's problems and many of the puzzles of the life and many of the questions and the solutions are hidden in the placement of Rahu and Ketu. Unlike other planets, Rahu and Ketu, they move in an axis. That Rahu and Ketu, they always position themselves at 180 degree. It means that if Rahu is in house number 1, Ketu will be exactly in house number 7, which is 180 degree away from Rahu. If Rahu is in house number 2, Ketu has to be in house number 8. Rahu in house number 3, Ketu has to be in house number 9. So unlike other planets, these two planets, they move in an axis. So this itself is a very, very peculiar thing, and this has got lot of significance, and this plays a lot of role in the life of people. Now in Hindu mythology, Rahu and Ketu is described as a serpent, and at a hab boli thora hoy, jot Rahu is considered to be the head of the serpent, where Ketu is considered to be the tail of the serpent. And as Rahu is the head of the serpent, so Rahu has only the head part. It does not has the anything below head. Whereas Ketu do not has the head, it has got the body and the tail. So this actually describes, although it is you can tell it is a mythological story. However, it very, very, you know, aptly it describes the main characteristics of Rahu and Ketu. Rahu, being the head of the serpent without a body, it is always hungry. It always want to have more and more, but it can only eat. But since there is nothing below the head, so tar pet keteo navore, it does not, its hunger never, get mitigated. Whereas Ketu do not have got the mouth, it has got only the body, so it has got no appetite for anything. It rather want to devote itself for the spiritual things. So while Rahu is a materialistic planet, Ketu is considered to be a spiritual planet. However, do not confuse that Ketu is a spiritual thing. Rahu and Ketu, they are the part of the same entity, and the same entity is an asura, that is a devil. So Noikhorgik Rupe, naturally Rahu and Ketu both are considered to be the same entity, which is a natural malefic, that is a Asura, that is a Asubha Graha. So both Rahu and Ketu, they are not good. That is one thing I am telling you, emphasizing, because many of the astrologers, they try to, imply that while Rahu is good, Rahu is bad, Ketu is good. Ketu take you towards the moksha. Ketu is something that deal with the past life karma and all these things. But be very, very sure that while Ketu has got less malefic impact than Rahu, but Ketu by nature is itself a Rakshas Graha, and therefore it is a malefic. So wherever Rahu and Ketu sit, they do harm that places. Now I am going to describe you very briefly what happens when Rahu. Today in this video I am only going to tell about Rahu. Ketu I will discuss in a different video, because otherwise the length will be too long. Now Rahu is very, very significant in two houses in human life. One is house number 1, that is Lagna, and second is the house number 7, that is the house of marriage or partnership. Now the person in whose horoscope Rahu sit in Lagna, the characteristics of or the personality of that person, you can blindly say that he is a materialistic person. He will run after money. He will not think about other things. He will be a self-centric person. He may be very rich. He may be very successful. However, he will not have the human qualities. That means that he will be very, very self-centric, selfish, and he will do anything and everything to get something out of others, that is for his own materialistic gain. Now, if Rahu sit in the 7th house, that is the house of marriage, then what happens? And I have seen many kundalis of boys as well as girls where Rahu is sitting in the 7th house. Now 7th house is the house of your life partner or your business partner. Now forget about business partner for the time being, let's talk about the life partner. Now if Rahu sit in the 7th house, the first thing it do is that it delays the marriage. Now I have seen that the people in whose horoscope Rahu is sitting in house number 7, that is the marriage house, their marriage happens usually at a later age, minimum 30 years. So even 30, 32, 36, so beyond 30 years only the marriage happens. They generally do not have an early marriage, number one. Number second is that Rahu is a planet, as I have said, that it is a mysterious planet. It does not obey the rules and regulation of the society. It does not have got anything to do with the tradition. It is by nature it is a rebel type of planet. So it want to break all the barriers of the society. So the people whose Rahu sit in house number 7, that is in the marriage place, marriage sthana or the vivaha sthana, many of those people I have seen that they marry out of their caste or community or religion, and many of them nowadays I have seen that they marry even foreigners. So Rahu want to break the barrier of the society. It does not want to confine itself to the tradition of the society, marrying in the same community, same caste, same religion. So it want to break free. So many of the people, if you have got any people known to you who have married out of their community, religion or foreigners, you please check their horoscope, and there may be a high possibility that they may be having Rahu placed in their marriage place. I am not saying it is good or bad, but it is how it happens. Now Rahu is, when Rahu sit in house number 2, the house number 2 is the house of the relatives or kutumb. So when Rahu as a malefic it sit in house number 2, these people do not have got a very good relation with their close relatives. Secondly, it is also the Vanisthan, that is the house of speech, and Rahu being a malefic planet, these people can speak very rude word which affects the sentiment of the other people. So this is one of the drawback of the people whose Rahu is sitting in the house number 2nd. And also the house number 2nd represent the money in that sense, because Rahu itself is a materialistic planet, so these people can save a lot of money. That is a good thing. Rahu is considered good in house number 3 because it is considered to be the own house of Rahu. So these people who have got Rahu in the third house, they rise in their profession, they rise in their society, and they become very good salesmen, and they usually they take a profession which is finance related, business related, travel related, and they do very good job in communication. And Rahu itself is the Karaka Graha for communication, and especially of a software, I mean the internet communication. So this is the age of internet communication. So all those people whose Rahu is sitting in house number 3, they have a very good probability to rise in the field of internet communication. When Rahu sits in the house number 4, it's a very bad position, because house number 4 is the house of mother and the motherland. So it denotes that the people whose Rahu is in house number 4, their mother's health will always be bad. Similarly, when Rahu sits in house number 5 is mainly the house of studies and also the house of children. So as far as the studies are concerned, when Rahu sits in house number 5, these students, when they are studying, their mind is very unstable. They many times they miss their examinations, and what happens is that their study line become very erratic. I mean, they sometimes they goes to arts, then they suddenly shift to science, they suddenly take up some other courses. So, and in the process they can lose some years also. Similarly, when it is in house number 5, because house number 5 is also the house of children. So these people, if it is a woman or lady, they generally face problem in conceiving children. If they conceive children also, it becomes a difficult delivery, or it becomes a late delivery. House number 6 is a good house of Rahu, because it is in Kalpurush Panjik, in KP. House number 6 is the house ruled by Virgo, and Virgo is a friend of Rahu. So Rahu gives very good result when it sit in house number 6. It These people who have got Rahu in house number 6, the enemies cannot touch them. Although there may be some hidden enemy, but these enemies will not be able to do much harm to the people whose Rahu is in house number 6. Also, because this is the house of loan and debt also, so Rahu being a materialistic planet, it will give these people enough money so that they can either they will not come in a situation where they will take some loan, or if they take some loan also, Rahu will ensure that the loan is repaid in time. Then comes house number 7. I have already described that house number 7 is the house of marriage, and Rahu is a very bad planet which should sit in house number 7, because it causes havoc in the married life, delays the marriage, number 1, and second, if marriage happens also, the married life becomes very disturbed. I have seen that in when Rahu is in house number 7, the life partner's character is also not good. I mean, he or she may have extramarital affairs also, uh, uh, all unethical relationships also, and different type of other problems may crop up due to the differences of opinion. House number 8 is also not good. House number 8 is the house of occult, is the house of, it also denotes accidents and obstacles. So when Rahu sits in house number 8, it gives a lot of obstacle in life. House number 9 for Rahu is a very bad position, because it is the house which represents luck. So when Rahu, a malefic planet, it sits in the house of luck, it only brings bad luck. House number 10 is the house of karma, it is the career, and it gives mixed result. If Rahu is seen by some other good planet, then in that case Rahu can give good result in the career. It can ensure a speedy growth in the professional life. But at the same time, if Rahu is sitting with its enemy planet in house number 10, then that person's career will always suffer some setbacks. However, in most of the cases I have seen that Rahu do not do much harm when it sits in house number 10, and especially because house number 10 is the natural house of Sunny, and Sunny and Rahu are friends. So Rahu actually amplifies the effect of Sunny, and it amplifies the karma sthan. So Rahu in a nutshell gives good result in house number 10. Similarly, house number 11 is called the Lavasthan, that is the sthan of income, and Rahu sitting in house number 11 ensures that the person has a very luxurious life. He has got a lot of money to spare, and Rahu sitting in house number 11, although it has got two sides. One is that it gives lot of money, lot of friends, lot of parties, socializing and lot of comfort to the and materialistic gain to the person. However, on the other hand, it also ensures that the person may involve him in some bad habits like drinking alcohol, womanizing, or some unethical practices. So it is the in one way gaining of money, but in the other way there is some bad habits which actually hampers both the personal and the professional life in the long run. Now coming to house number 12, when Rahu is in house number 12, house number 12 is the house of expenditure. So in when house number 12 also the house of bed pleasure. So when house number 12 Rahu sit in house number 12, I have seen that many of such people, they have got extramarital affair, they make a physical relationship with multiple people, and they are very very wild in the bed. They have got a very very strong sexual urge, and they do not bother much about the ethical issues when it comes to sexual things. On the other hand, the good thing is that when Rahu is in house number 12, these people, I have seen that they get a chance to settle in foreign land. So house number 12, when Rahu is in house number 12, many of these people, you will find that they go for some work or for some other purpose in to some foreign country, and ultimately they get a PR and they get settled in some foreign land. Now that may be good for some people, they may be bad for some people, depending upon what type of country or which country you are going and you are settling. If you are going to a better country than India, then of course Rahu is doing good for you. But if you are going to a lesser developed country than India, then definitely Rahu is not doing good for you. And whether you are going to a good country or a bad country, but I think that India is the best country to live. So if Rahu is taking you to a foreign country, actually it is not considered to be good, because people always feel happiest staying in their own country. Anyway, nowadays nowadays there is a craze going on for youngsters to go and settle in the abroad, whether they get that much of happiness or apnapan or the pleasure of staying in homeland or not, that's a different matter, but there is a craze of going and settling in the foreign land. So to that extent, Rahu help those people who have got Rahu in their 12th houses. Now these are the different characteristics of Rahu when they sit in different different houses of your kundli. Now this is a very very generic type of definition, and you cannot the way I have said, it is 50% true only, because there are other planets who are also who are either looking at Rahu, or who is sitting with Rahu, or who has got some connection with Rahu in your kundli. So a proper picture of how Rahu will behave in your kundli can only be understood when the whole kundli is in front of the Jyotishi, or say if I am the Jyotishi and if I have got your kundli, the total kundli in front of me, then only I can tell you that whether Rahu is good, bad, ugly, what type of Rahu is there. Because only Rahu sitting in a particular house does not may not mean 100% assurance of anything, because so when Rahu is sitting in a particular house, it may be looked by some good planets, some bad planets, or Rahu may be sitting with some other planet. Rahu may be sitting with one planet, two planets, three planets, four planets, many planets. So accordingly, those combinations, those yutis, those drishtis, those aspects, those will also play a very very important role in defining how the Rahu will behave in a person's life. So in a nutshell, we can tell that Rahu basically is a malefic planet. It's not a good planet. So basically, the main trait of Rahu is not good. It in 80% of cases, the Rahu's tendency is to create problem. The problem may be of different kind. It may be delay in the things done. It may be destruction of things. It may be losses. It may be some unexpected problems. It may be enmity. It may be anything. And especially when Rahu sit in house number 7, in many cases, don't take it literally, but in many cases it happens that the spouse dies early also. So these are of course for that not only Rahu, but there should be there should be aspect, UT, and some special combinations of some other malefic planet with Rahu also. So Rahu is a planet which is still to be discovered. Lot of things are yet to be discovered. We as Vedic astrologers, we are still researching on the different aspects of Rahu, and with time many new things will come up. So I think this video has given you some idea about Rahu. If you want to have your kundali reading with me, then you can contact me in for a private consultation by phone or WhatsApp. My phone and WhatsApp number are same. It is 9717100241. Repeating, 9717100241, and my email ID is krishnajyotishacademy@gmail.com. Krishna, 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 Jyotish, Jyotish, Academy, Academy @gmail.com. So I stay in Dwarka, Delhi, but since nowadays everything is happening in online mode, so it doesn't make any difference. So wherever you are, if you want a personal consultation, please feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you.